Hello everyone, welcome to the Joe Rocket Experience. It's been a long time, I cannot even remember the episode number. I have schizophrenia. We are here today with Dimeadosen. How are you, Dime?
Good. How are you? It's great to be on here.
I'm good too. You know, I'm not accustomed to this anymore. I haven't been playing in quite a while, and I haven't
Yeah.
recorded in quite a while. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
I'm sure it'll be.
go ahead, say what you
Uh,
wanted.
I'm sure it'll be great. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, should we get into the questions then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the first question. What prompted you to lead Baron? Was it an opportunity that arose or something that you had thought about for some time?
Well, here I'll answer the first question. So, Chris, as you know, was leading Baroon before me. He had inherited from Casper after the Civil War when he died. He got bored of Baroon, so he saw Patria, so he decided he wanted to join that instead. And then I think Lucky heard about it, and he convinced Chris to make me as his successor because how active I was, so he knew I would make sure lots of stuff happened in Baroon.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so just guess my activity, Chris saw and thought I'd be a good fit for it.
I can't remember though. Who was Mittel owned by Patria, or who managed Baron between the Civil War and when you took over?
Chris had it.
Okay. We have the second question if you want to move on to that.
Yeah, can you say it again?
The second question, if you want to move on.
Yeah, what was the second question?
How did Baronian military strategy, tactics, and logistics, along with diplomacy and international/war aims affect the outcome of what is now known as the Great War?
Well, for strategy, we honestly didn't really have any strategy. We just kind of went in and fought. But for logistics, during the whole war, we didn't have any infrastructure to get gear, so I had to go back to my villagers in Anchor City that I had. But with diplomacy, I really messed up that part. I didn't make the best choices in diplomacy in what I said in my actions, so that definitely helped in the downfall of Baroon, I'd say.
Could you get a bit into the start of the Great War, how it started from your perspective? Because we had people come on before and talk from their perspective.
Right, yeah, I'll try to do that. I'm not the best at explaining, I'll try. So, well, it all started after I got Baroon. I had the goal of regaining all lost land that Baroon ever had, which, looking back on it, was definitely way too ambitious. I should have probably focused on just Civil War land lost, or just building up in general and not even getting land back. But so I had the idea. I saw Cormair. They were getting really strong. They had all the best PvPers at the time. Well, I guess besides Croach, I think he was in Evermond. But so I saw them, and I saw that they also wanted Patrian land, and I also wanted Patrian land. So I approached Toilet with a proposition to make a military pact to divide the world, pretty much, at least Germania. So they agreed. We made the Castle Pact, and we started making plans on what we were going to do. We were originally going to have the war start in December, around Christmas break, that everyone was active. But as you know, they declared war. I think it was October, was it?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. I was dead at that time, so.
Oh yeah, of course. So suddenly they decided to declare war. I forget what the reason was, but they declared war without telling me, their ally, and they even told me I didn't have to join as their war at the time. But I made the dumb decision to join in their war, which of course caused the downfall of Baroon. Well, what should I say?
Uh, we have a follow-up question
Yeah.
that asks, what important moments, decisions, or smaller outcomes were there during the Great War that, if had gone differently or another way, would have perhaps altered where Barun and you have ended up today?
That's a good question. Well, I think, of course, if I didn't join the war in the first place, then Bruin would still be here. But I think annexing Patria and demanding so much land during the peace treaty with Danswick and the Ceres Pact, that people saw that and saw how much land I wanted, and that really made people not like me. So if I had not annexed Patria, I think people would have liked me more, and I might have still been Bruin might have still been here.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's good. Good response. You know, I forgot to note this question down, but I got reminded this by a fellow Chega. Wait, when will you pay war reparations to Evermond?
I don't have any plans on doing that. I don't think Evermond really needs it.
Okay, sure. Do you have any regrets?
Well, joining the Great War, I'd say joining
Yeah, of course.
Crimea's War. I think also giving up so soon in the war after Evermond conquered Mittel, and also, well, yeah, I think that's pretty much all my regrets. So the biggest one is joining the war and not building up Barun.
How would have a war where you didn't join the war would have looked like? One where you just built up a run.
Well, of course, Barun would still be here. I would have had finished Richthofen, I'd say. I had plans for City in the front lines. Enkelsplat would have been finished, and Barun would have been a great economic power with all the shops there. We even had plans of making the Protector of Delos Barun's protectorate, but they called it off because I was at war. So they wanted me to finish the war, and then they would join me. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Bruin would have been really big. We would have gone back the land that the EAC split off with. And yeah, just Bruin would still be here and be nice and big.
What do you think about how Boron is today, especially like Mittel Germania, which is run by Stream? What do you think about that?
I mean, it really saddens me to see it in the state it's in inactivity, no one really doing anything there. Stream, who he's kind of a disgraced Brunian, right? He's not really Brunian.
It's not?
I mean, I think he lost his citizenship because he did some treason. I forget what happened exactly.
Oh.
And he's not really doing anything there right now. So it's just left into inactivity, which I don't like.
That is true. That is sad. But from the way people have pointed out, from what I understand, more people think that the Stream is more of a Baronian than you are.
Well, I disagree with that because, you see, he was appointed by a foreign power that's, of course, no one can say is Baronian, but I was appointed by a Baronian who was the heir of Casper, who was, of course, the best known Baronian. So so my leadership is more, what's the word? I'm sorry, I can't think of the word.
Legitimate?
Yeah, legitimate, because I was actually appointed by Brunian.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the recent marriage proposal brought forward by BCA? Is it something you will actually consider?
Well, yes, we are considering it. The Ostomasons, well, my grandfather and I we talked with BCA about what it would mean for us and what would have to change. We put forth a few demands, sort of, you could say, of what we'd like to happen. But we're still talking about it. It might go through, but we'll have to see soon. But if it did go through, I'd say, well, it of course mend Fear's relationship with Occitania, I think. Yeah, it mend Fear's relationship with us, but I don't know about the rest of the world. But I personally am in favor of. I'm in favor of the marriage going through if it means that BCA will change and be on our side, you could say.
Dime. What were your long-term plans for Barun if you survived the Great War? I know you kind of answered this already with saying you would have built up, but that seems like short-term, yeah? And
Yeah.
he's specifically referring to what system would Barun have had? Would it have been just the Kaiser or some sort of state structure?
Well, I always wanted to make Barun a form of democracy because I believe democracies breed more activity and are more enjoyable.
I love democracy.
Yes, democracy is fun. Democracy is fun, but yeah, if we got enough players, which I would have had tried to recruit, it would have definitely turned to being more of a democracy, maybe a like figurehead monarchy with me as the Kaiser. But I didn't have any concrete plans, just generally the idea of I wanted it to be a democracy to breed more activity.
Okay.
I mean, I guess honestly that's one of my shortcomings. I didn't think far enough ahead. I just thought of the immediate of what would happen next, which is one of the downfalls of Brune, I'd say.
I have to agree. What else do we have? Should we move on to the other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
What is your purpose and goal in a newly reinvigorated Occitanian Empire? What do you believe caused the change in activity and energy in Occitania, and what has happened since then?
Well, so the activity definitely came from when Resilience joined recently. He brought a ton of activity and new ideas to the country. So ever since he joined, it's been a lot more active. We're about to get some new players, hopefully. Well, my purpose in Occitania, I mean, so right now I'm just helping out, helping build up our stockpile, getting in infrastructure for military purposes, and also civilian infrastructure like rails. But I don't have, right now I'm appointed as the Magister Militum of Occitania, which is in charge of the military to get that built up. So that's currently my purpose in it.
That's good.
After that, I'm going to just return to Oak City, and I'm going to build that up, hopefully. That's my personal city I have.
Yeah, I know Oak City is a very beautiful city. And for those of you that haven't seen it, you should really... Those of you that haven't seen it, you should really go ahead and visit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the future of the Ostmason family? If you do in fact get married to BCA, will tensions finally subside between the family and the world?
Well, I don't know exactly what it means by the future of the Ostmason family. Well, if we get married, BCA will be part of the Ostmasons. You'll have to, of course, agree to everything that we agreed to, which would be we'll work together as Ostmasons and not ever go against each other. But tensions between us and the world, I don't think that's gonna go away just by the marriage, but tensions will definitely go away between Ostmasons and Fear, I'd hope.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes.
What is your opinion on Chesapeake and the New World?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're cool, but you're the best Chesapeake citizen, I'd say. You're nice.
Let's go.
But I'd say the New World is I see them as inferior to the Old World. It's everything's nicer over here. you know.
What do you propose we do to the new orders? Just exterminate them? Just what do you
No,
want to do?
I think they should all move. I think they should all move down to the old world and make more stuff here.
Well, you see, Dime, the problem with the old world is all the good areas are taken, which is why I'm really trying to give land to new players in the old world. That's what I'm trying with Patria right now. You know, that's why we claimed Patria in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I guess it's true. There isn't too much new land anymore, but if you look hard enough, you can find some. Like south of Beleriand in, I think it's called Nurgurd. That's a good piece of land, I'd say.
Yes, but that's pretty far from the center.
Not
of
not
course,
as far.
it's not as far as the new
yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'd say. I think you guys should all move down here, be with us.
Yeah. You know, that's what I don't like about the old world is many areas are hoarded and nothing is done with them. For example, look at if you look at Dajvik,
Mm-hmm.
above Danium, northeast, there's a big island. Nothing is done with it, but they do have it, right? They
Sure.
just have it for the sake of it. I think that those types of islands should not be claimed if you're not gonna do anything with them. Or look at Ragwain, which you might think it's a bit of a bias because we are currently at war with Ragwain.
Yeah.
But again, they're sleeping on beautiful land that nobody has access to.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to ask you something. Do you know what's going to happen with Rugwain if once the war's over?
Well, of course, I think that this information is not public, as I'm aware.
Okay.
But I will still public it. Is that correct? Okay, so
yeah.
So Chesapeake will probably get the south part of Ragwain, and the rest will be left for Pepper. So we would. So the only town we would have would be. Let me check for 1 second. We would get Bayernard, right?
Yeah, interesting.
And Sarton. That's what we would get. The rest would go to Ragwain. To Pepper.
All right.
Okay, should we move on to our sponsors, Dime?
Oh, yes.
Dime, have you ever been in need of enchanting?
Oh, yes, all the time.
All the time. That's amazing. Because, there's this shop in rice fields run by a very beautiful person.
Yes, of course.
That sells books. You should visit. Books and enchanting in rice fields.
Well, I'll have to visit it right after this, I think.
What do you think about the owner of that place?
Oh, he's a very great person. I talk with him every day. He's the best.
Is he better than you?
I wouldn't say that, but he's a cool guy.
That is amazing. So let's see. We also have a sponsorship from the Boom Shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what can you tell us about it?
Well, the Boom Shop is located in rice fields right now. It sells you all the explosives you could ever need, such as TNT, beds for the Nether, fireworks, and also custom fireworks. So it's very good and the best shop to get Netherite in the Nether using the explosives.
Yeah. Why don't you just go ahead and mine the Netherite? It would be way better than if you sell TNT for the Netherite.
Well, studies have shown that it is a lot more efficient to get Netherite through TNT than any other method.
No, that is not what I mean. What I mean is, Why wouldn't you go ahead with the TNT and get the netherite? Why would you sell the TNT?
Oh, I do. I have excess TNT, and I sell that. But then I also, of course, go with my own TNT.
Okay. Where did we leave off? Okay, we have this question asking, how would you describe the relationship you have with Lucky Shark? And how has it shaped your leadership skills?
Well, Lucky has tried to help me with my leadership, but he's sometimes been a distant father. So during Baroon, I didn't get much advice from him.
Oh, that is sad.
Yes, very sad.
That's all?
Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. What do you think about Miss Lee?
Miss Lee, well, she kind of swindled me and left with Richthofen, and then and I had to pay for that, which I don't like that. I don't like her.
I like her. She gave me a lot of money.
Now, also, I don't know if you would know this, but do you know if... Actually, I need to explain something. So during the Great War, for a time, Miss Lee approached me and said, with a plan... So this is after Evermond declared war on Baroon. She approached me with a plan to get out of the war, but also keep some land. We're going to have a civil war of some kind, with Richthofen leaving. But do you know if that was real? Do you have any knowledge on that?
I mean, I was dead during that time, but I think she was just scamming you.
Oh, okay, I see.
From what I heard is she had good intentions. She actually wanted to end the war. But then she just realized, hey, she could make a ton of money. And Miss Lee, being a based capitalist like I am, you know, I have a lot of in common with Miss Lee. I really look up to her. I wish I could have met her someday.
Maybe one day we'll meet her in the afterlife. Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened to her?
No, I'm not aware. Yes, I think she died. Yeah, but I don't remember how she died.
That's sad.
Yes, that is very sad. Let's see. Should we move on to another question?
Yes, of course.
What are a few goals you have not yet achieved, and what steps have you implemented thus far to propel yourself down to the path of eventual achievement?
Well, I have a few goals, but I don't think I could talk about them on here.
Why not? Are you scared?
They're top secret. With they involve certain things that people wouldn't like. I can't say.
Well, I have leaked like war plans right now, so why don't you go ahead and leak stuff? So we are gonna be equal.
I mean, I don't think I can answer that. I'm sorry.
That is sad. That is sad. The viewers will not like this Dimeadosen.
Well, I mean, I guess I can say I do have some plans in Oak City, I guess, but these aren't very big plans. Just, I don't know, I'm gonna make a castle, make Oak City bigger.
Yeah, okay. That is cool. You know, I've heard some people, and I have been provided proof of this, that some people say that you are looking to claim back Baron. What do you think about that? Are you actually willing to take back Baron?
Well, if the opportunity arises, I think I would go back, but peacefully. And I've definitely learned from my mistakes, I'd say. So if I ever did go back, it'd be peacefully, no war. I've learned my lesson from that. War is not the answer. But if I had the opportunity to peacefully go back, whether as a leader or in a new state of Baroon that someone else leads, I would go back, I would say.
That is amazing.
I can't say too much.
Of course, you don't like sharing top secret stuff. What else do we have? How best would you describe your leadership style, and how has it evolved since you first joined trotuserver, since you first came to the lands of Trotu?
Well, when I first joined, I didn't actually lead anything until Baroon, so that was my first
Oh.
experience with leading.
So that wasn't a very good experience.
Yes, but I think I've learned from it, I'd say. But
That
I don't
is
know.
good.
I don't know how I'd say it's evolved, but I think since Baroon, I'd say I've learned my lesson. I could better lead a nation with that experience in hand.
Hopefully you never get to do that again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, do you mean lead a nation again?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hope I lead. I mean, I think I could lead a nation again.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think you can. I wouldn't trust you.
I mean, I would trust me.
Of course you would. Of course. Yeah.
I mean,
How?
wouldn't you say I've learned from Baroon? I mean, I got beat pretty hard there. I think I've learned my lesson. Wouldn't you say?
From the proof I have been provided, I would say you have learned nothing. But of course, I cannot share that proof at the moment.
I mean,
I will.
I mean, you don't know what is going on in my world.
Yeah,
You don't know
I do
what
not.
I know.
So just no. I think sure you might be a good leader, but you're not a very good foreign diplomacy guy. So
Yeah,
just
I would agree on that. I still need to learn in that field. I mean, I
yeah.
would say during the Great War, I was too focused on just war, but I think if in the future, if I led a nation, I'm gonna put down the hatchet. I have learned my lesson. War is not the answer. So if in the future, if I ever lead a nation, I'll try my best to solve everything through diplomacy and peace the best I could.
That is cool. That is amazing. You know, both you and me, we've both been adeptus slaves, right?
Well, I
Of
wouldn't say
course.
I wasn't. You were a slave. I was more of a paid worker.
A paid worker, you are paying your
Well,
debts.
I mean, you could see it as that. You could see it as that.
So, how was your experience living in the Mechanicus Underforge?
Well, it was a very nice place, I'd say. They had plants there, surprisingly, even though it was on the Promised Island. But it's just with their rules and stuff. There's allowed to be plants down there, so it felt like home because Oak City has a lot of plants, so it felt like home.
Yeah.
Now, I do regret that I didn't do too much there because they expected me to build there a lot and make it look nicer, but I didn't really do much. I was made a half-finished building down there. So I kind of regret I didn't do much there. But my experience there was very enjoyable.
I think our experiences differed. When I was a slave,
Yes, tell me.
when I was a slave, you see, if you look on the back of my head, I can show you this now, right? Look on the back of my head. I now have this permanent tattoo on my helmet that they put a gear on my head.
That sounds
And
painful. That sounds
it
very
does.
painful. Yeah.
Well, it's my helmet. It wasn't my actual body, so at least that was a thing. But considering I do need some type of helmet to survive, I do not like it, and
Well,
I cannot afford buying a new helmet
I
at
mean,
this
of
point.
course, you are a heretic, so of course they would treat you worse.
Of course, yeah, but heretic lives matter, not to them, which is
Yeah.
kind of sad.
I mean, I would agree with that. Heretic lives matter. I respect the Mechanicus religion greatly, but I think you're also cool, even though you're a heretic.
Thank you. What do you think about what happened with Flabby?
What happened with Flabby?
When he went on the Promised Land and planted a bunch of trees?
Oh yes, that. Well, I think that was pretty obviously dumb, and I hope that he gets what he deserves. Maybe he gets killed a few times and
Yeah,
head taken.
Flabby is pretty dumb, but
Yeah.
you know,
So I hope the worst comes to him.
I do not hope the worst comes to him, because that's probably like a war, declaring a war against Flabby and Flabby's nation. And given the fact that I am in the same nation as Flabby, the worst coming to him would be the worst coming to me. So I just hope he like gets a personal worst, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't think it warrants a war against Chesapeake, but I don't know. It's up for the mechanics to decide.
I really hope it doesn't warrant a war for the Chesapeake against Chesapeake,
Right.
because that would be cringe. And Adeptus, you don't want to be cringe, do you? That's what I thought. Of course, we can't hear what Adeptus is responding, so we're just gonna assume you said you don't want to be cringe. If you do want to be cringe, then please do not attack Chesapeake.
I mean, to be honest, it'd be kind of interesting to see that unfold.
We'd get our ass beaten time.
You think so? Well,
Yeah.
what's the Chesapeake stockpile look like? How much stuff do you have?
Oh no, the stockpile is good. It's just we don't have that many good PvPers anymore.
Was the potato very a good warrior?
Well, my husband is not feeling that good. And he will also probably leave Chesapeake with Cormera at some point in the future.
I see.
So that's gonna be a problem.
Of course.
Okay, should we move on?
Yes.
To build on this, what are some lessons you have learned from being in the Mechanicus Underforge?
It's a good question. I can't think of any experiences I've learned. Well, I mean, besides Baroon, while I was in Underforge, I had lots of time to think about Baroon and what I could have done differently and my regrets. But I can't think of anything else to answer with besides that.
You should have learned how to not be in debt. That's what you should have learned.
True. How does one learn to not be in debt?
Well, it's kind of simple. I can show you. You just have to give me some money, and then I will teach you. I'm gonna open up this school called Chega University, and I'll teach people how to make money in very legit ways.
Oh, that's exciting. I'll definitely attend that.
Amazing. That is good to hear. You will be our first Chega University student. And our first lesson on how to not be in debt is do not start a world war. Please do not do that.
I can agree to that. That's definitely not a good way to live or get in debt.
Yeah. Oh, you're both a Turkish citizen and the Occitanian one, right?
Yes, I have dual citizenship.
Which one comes first?
I'd say Occitania. I mainly joined Ricciundi with Polly to help King so he could have enough citizens to have elections and stuff. But I've kind of sticked around while Polly left.
Well, King is no longer the leader of Ricciunity, if I remember correctly, right? It's Shrimp right now, right?
Yeah, Shrimp, my good friend Shrimp.
That is cool. I like Shrimp.
He's cool. Have you had any interactions with him?
Not many that I can remember. I've had the RIC.
Oh, yes, you're a board member of RIC, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I have had those interactions, but other than that, not really.
I see.
So, following up on the questions about Rick Unity, as a Rickish citizen, what is your stance on the treaties of Britannia?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not too knowledgeable in how they came to be. All I know is there was some border dispute with Ricciundi and Danswick, and then the treaty formed out of it, which took some land away from Ricciundi. But I believe Ricciundi should try to regain that land peacefully through buying it, I'd say. And I'll actually let you in on this. Rick Unity is planning on offering Dan Swick some netherite for the land that Rick Unity lost during one of the treaties of Britannia.
That is amazing.
Yes, you can expect to see news about that soon, whether or not it goes through. But we do want to get the land back, but of course we're gonna do it peacefully as we can. We're not gonna go to any violent measures at all.
I would like it. You do not go to violent measures.
Yes.
Of course, we have a follow-up question on this about what is your opinion on war in general. And I think it's not a very good one, as you've stated multiple times during the podcast already.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy war anymore, but if it came to it, and if my nation was in danger, I would not be against war as a way to end a conflict with another hostile nation, but I don't want to be the first one to start a war.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Makes sense. That is kind of the same ideology Chesapeake has, where we don't really like starting wars. We just like to protect ourselves. Of course, this seems hypocritical since we're now at war with Ragwain.
Yeah, that does sound pretty hypocritical, doesn't it?
It does, but consider this, Dime. No lives are hurt during the war. Nobody is being hurt during this war. Nothing
Right.
is. We are just trying to liberate Eldians, and like
Now,
I said,
can you tell me what Eldians need liberating? Is there anyone?
This is classified information, Dimeadosen. I cannot answer that.
Right. Right. So, are you saying you're just invading for no reason? There's no one that needs liberated?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Eldians do need to be liberated. I'm just saying that I cannot, at this moment, reveal what they need to be liberated from, except the oppressive government of Ragwain.
Now, can you give me evidence of Eldians being what's the word? Punished or subjugated?
Of course, we have evidence, and we will release it to the public in a future time of day, which cannot be right
I'm
now.
excited to see that information when it comes out.
I wouldn't say I'm excited to, because sadly, those are Eldians being subjugated over there.
Right.
But it will come out, and you will soon see how the oppressive, inactive government of Ragwain is.
I'll be interested to see that. Yes.
Yeah. And we have another question. Favorite historical time period, and what about it interests you?
Well, I would say, would it be one that I've lived through or one I've not lived through? Just any time period?
Just any time period.
Well, I mean, I think the Cold War was a very interesting time in Tro 2, with both sides and all the politics that happened. Sadly, I joined towards the end of it. I witnessed the end of the Cold War and it ending because of the Terror War starting. But I'd say, yeah, the Cold War was definitely the most interesting time period for me.
Okay.
I hope to learn more about what I didn't live through in that Cold War.
Speaking of, will you attend your grandfather's lessons? I think
yes,
he will
definitely.
teach. Okay, that is good, because he
Yeah,
will...
yeah, do you know what he's teaching about today?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, yes, because it's actually happening later today, which I'll have to catch after
I,
this.
I will go there too.
Are you allowed to go there if you're a heretic?
Yes, I am allowed to go there.
Huh? Do you know where it's being held? Is it on the Promised Island?
Tom said I'm allowed to go there, so...
Okay.
So...
Yes, I will definitely be attending my grandfather's lessons. Very excited to learn more history.
Me too. Let's see. We have a follow-up question on this, adding on, where do your religious beliefs stand? Perhaps they have changed from this experience. I don't know what they experienced they are referring to.
Okay. Well, my religious beliefs currently, I believe in the pantheon of the old world. It's sort of hard to explain. It's from our gods are from another world that we worship. There's different gods over different aspects of the world. I mainly worship Ocasius, who's the god of time, plants, and life. And that is what Ocasia is named after. And yes, Ocasia in Oak City. But yeah, that's what I believe in, and that's what I'll always believe in. I think.
I believe in Lunaism. Have you heard of that?
I have. I listened to the podcast episode you had on that. It's very interesting.
Good. That is good.
Yes, I'm an avid listener of the Joe Rocket Experience.
That is amazing. I am not, because I cannot stand hearing my voice. So
Same. So I hate it.
I never listen to any of my episodes. But people say they're good, so I continue doing them.
They are great. They're amazing. Best thing happened on the server since I joined. No, just kidding.
Best thing to happen on the server since the Great War.
I mean, I wouldn't say the war was like great or anything. It was a great war, but it wasn't a great war. Yeah. It was the Great War, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was doing a small amount of tomfoolery.
Yes, of course.
Thinking back on my favorite part of history, right? I think the Terror War is a very interesting part, but I've not been around during the Terror War. I joined, you remember when I joined Occitania during the Baronian Civil War. So So this is why I would like to ask you if you could get into the Terror War.
Yes, of course. Well, actually, you need to cut this out. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry, and refill my water. So just take like a break. Cut this out.
Nice day.
Yeah, just cut this part out when we do it.
I will.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, did you wash your hands?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that is good.
All right. Can you ask the question?
So I'm gonna ask you the question, which is adding on. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you if you can explain the Terror War.
Yeah, that's a pretty big subject. I'll try to go through it with detail. So, it all started at the Helvetia Delos meeting that was supposed to end the Terror War. During it,
someone started at a meeting that was supposed to end the Terror War?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Cold War. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pommet, it's very well known, attacked the meeting in Libra. So this, of course, set off the whole Terror War and all its events. So shortly after this, I noticed that Red Effect, who had joined now, and Pommet had gotten the achievement to enter the end. So I notified the rest of the coalition, and a few of us, I believe it was me, Lucky, Casper, maybe some other people, we went to the end and we blocked off the end portal, and then we attempted to kill them when they returned from end cities they were raiding. So because of this, during this, Red Effect died, and Pommet got away by jumping into the void and respawning. So after this made Red Effect not like me, because I had tried to kill him during that. So after this...
Wait, who killed Red Effect if he died, but you didn't kill him? Who was the killer?
I think it might have been Lucky killed him, and then he, of course, respawned. Well, so then after this, many other attacks happened. I I can't name all of them, but many attacks happened by them on innocent civilians, such as one that was in Danswick near Danium. I don't remember who fought, but I know Nathan was there, maybe Casper, other people. I don't know if anyone died, but after this, then Nathan was AFK in Danium. He had dug underground and covered his head, and Red Effect came and saw him, and then he broke a block to get to him and killed him. Then Red Effect he left Trotu, he got banned, and Nathan then was in so much pain he couldn't bear it anymore, so he decided to end his life, which is a very sad moment. I don't know if you knew about that, but that's how he died.
I did know about that. I have seen the footage.
Yes, some people think it was Red Effect that directly killed him, but Red Effect only inflicted too much pain on him that he decided to commit suicide. But, well, after this, when Red Effect returned to Trotu, I don't remember the circumstances exactly, but he attacked, it might have been me, in Oceania at my home, and then Lucky and Pogslayer. Do you know who he was?
I have heard of him, yes.
Yes.
Pogslayer is Forbidden Wisdom, right?
Yes, I think Forbidden Wisdom downloaded his memory into him or something along those lines. But so, yes, Red Effect attacked me in my home, and Lucky Shark and Pogslayer came to my aid. He led us away from Oceania so that he could place end crystals, and he killed Forbidden Wisdom or Pogslayer. But then me and Lucky got away. We had to leave at the time. But after this, they started talking, Pogslayer and Red Effect, about like why me and Lucky left, and he kind of Red Effect swindled Pogslayer to his side. I don't know the exact what happened, but you could maybe do a interview with Pogslayer one day about his perspective on this. See,
I definitely could.
Yeah, because Forbidden Wisdom was actually with Red Effect for most of the war. He never fought, but he applied him and knows his perspective. But so after a while, more important battle happened. Before this, there were many other things that happened, him attacking innocent civilians. But Red Effect came to Lucky Shark while he was in his castle and tried to kill him. But Lucky Shark was barricaded in his study room near where we are now. So then he called for backup. Me and Kadern came to his help. We started fighting Red Effect, who got him very low, and we chased him to northern Piedmont, where he was in a cave with end crystals, and he killed me and Lucky. But because of this, Red Effect got banned. He left Trotu again, and this set off about like a month of peace when he was away.
What happened after that month?
Say it again.
What happened after the month of peace? You said it was only 1 month.
Yes, I believe he was away for a month. He had left Trotu because he was banned. But after this, Red Effect returned to Trotu again, and he attempted to do diplomacy after my grandfather Tom talked to him, saying how only killing people won't get him anywhere. He needs to do diplomacy. So he attempted to do this by returning the stuff he had taken from me and Lucky. But after this, though, Streambot actually joined the terrorists, and he tried to kill me in my villager hall in Anchor City, which took me by surprise because I thought they were trying to make peace, but apparently there's just Red Effect doing that. So I got away from that, and Streambot then started killing people instead of Red Effect. But then, let's see here. Well, then Lucky found where Red was actually AFK at a gold farm, and he ordered me to go and kill Red Effect. It honestly didn't really give us anything, just a set of armor, but actually doing that set off what would happen, which would be Citra attacking the EAC and their downfall. So, So I killed Red Effect. I tried to kill him with a Endermite so that it wouldn't say I killed him in the chat. But after this, around this time, Ozgint joins Red Effect. He was another terrorist. He started terrorizing people. Then around this time, this is when all the attacks ramped up a lot. Red tried to kill me as much as possible. He was always online, never not online for some reason. And around this time, Citra also got formed, and then Citra decided to make a move. Originally, the Coalition, which now had pretty much every active nation at this time, was against Red Effect. Coalition was going to declare war on Citra in about a week, but Citra did this early and actually attacked Rise Fields.
Oh.
And this was the Battle of Fort Bravo, which is like one of the most famous battles in the Terror War. It was might have been 12 people on the coalition side versus the 4 of them, and I don't believe anyone died on that battle on either side, but they had to give up because it was futile to try to fight us. So after this, they ramped up their terrorism tenfold, killing everyone who was in the coalition side. Is very hard to play on the server at that time. But around that time, the coalition declared an attack on Citra Castle, which was their capital, of course. But the day before the battle, or the day of the battle, Red Effect came to the bunker that the coalition had their supplies in. He broke a few blocks to get in, and he killed Kadern and breaks a bed that was in there, which would actually get him banned permanently because of that.
That is good.
Yeah. So then after that, they had declared an attack on Oceania, which is when the Battle of Oceania took place, but which means it didn't because Ozgint never showed up. So yes, Ozgint didn't show up. So once the battle was won at Oceania, I hurried over to Citra Castle to see like 12, 13 people chasing Red Effect around the castle. So then we won that battle, but Red Effect didn't give up. He just kept fighting. So me, Nexilitus, and Sweeber, we chased him to a cave under the castle. We fought him for maybe 30 minutes, and then Sweeber got the finishing blow, and he killed him, ending terrorism for good.
That is amazing.
So, yes, it was a very joyous occasion. I remember everyone in chat celebrating.
One more thing, though. You have
Yes.
mentioned the start of the terror war, right? At that
Yes.
meeting.
Yes, sorry, I might have gone a bit fast through that.
Yes. If I don't remember so correctly, it was one of the Adeptus members that have employed Pommet to assassinate people at that meeting, correct?
Oh, yes. It was later confirmed by Shrooms, who used to be part of the terrorists for a short time. It was later confirmed by her that it was the Mechanicus that hired them. Because I believe at that time, Mechanicus was in the Helvetia Pact with Dan Swick and EMR. So they didn't want the Cold War to end because they still wanted to be hired to fight, I believe, because they were a mercenary group. I'm not sure the details of why they did it, but it is confirmed they did it.
Okay. Why do you think Adeptus denies this to this day?
Can you say that again?
Why do you think Adeptus denies it to this day?
I don't see any cases of them denying it. They accepted.
I have spoken to Vorain, and he has denied it actively.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I don't think they've denied it. But I guess if they have, I don't know why they would do that.
Okay.
I mean, are you sure they did that?
I am 100% sure.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I couldn't say why they did that. I'm not the Mechanicus.
Yes, but relations between Mechanicus and And both of your nations, I believe, are very good, right? Both
Well, they are.
Ostenia and Ricky.
I don't think they don't have good relations with Ricky Unity. They don't like
Oh,
King,
okay.
but with Occitania we are friendly, I'd say. But we're not any more than friends with the individual Mechanicus members, but there's nothing official between us.
Okay. Would you want to be more than friends?
I don't believe the Mechanicus would want that, but I mean,
Sad.
I guess it would be nice to have their protection, but it's not going to happen.
Oh, I wasn't talking politically.
Oh.
Would
Wait,
you
what do you
want to
mean?
be more than friends romantically with the Adeptus?
Oh, I would love that. Yes.
That is cool. Well, I think that. Do you have anything else to add, Dime?
Well, I don't believe I do.
Well then, I think our time has come to an end. Thank you for coming on the Joe Rocket experience.
Yes, it was an honor.
It was.
Now, don't I leave a question for the next participant?
Yes, you do. I'm sorry we didn't have one for you, because the person that was supposed to be asking you a question dipped.
Yeah,
They
no
were
problem.
uncomfortable. So, please ask one for... let me check. Talk about something while I'm checking so people don't get bored.
Um. Uh.
Yeah,
Okay.
after you it's Pepper, Commander Pepper.
Pepper. Well, I would like to ask Pepper what he plans to do with Rugwain and if he has any proof of Eldian Pepperland people being oppressed.
Well, I have told you already, we do have the proof.
Oh,
It's just
of course.
classified.
Right. Well, I'd like to ask him for if he could unclassify any cases of people being oppressed.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dimeadosen, for coming on the Joe Rocket podcast. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Do not forget to check out Books and Enchanting and check out the Boom Shop. This has been the Joe Rocket experience with Dimeadosen and Rocket as the host. Goodbye.